In this video, we're introducing a tool that gives practical insights into people for managers, business owners, and team leaders. I'm Ron with Leadskill. We help leaders grow their team through people science. Let me share with you a few situations where we see Talent Insights being a really good fit for leaders in their organization. Maybe there's frustration in the workplace, and that can come a lot of times from a lack of understanding. Can go both ways, in fact. An employee may be frustrated that they're not really understood or that their boss doesn't get them. And a manager, on the other hand, or a business owner may be frustrated that the team doesn't seem to understand their sense of urgency or the overall objective that we're going for and the need to really stay focused and keep your eye on the ball. And so that's one situation that's common. Perhaps there's not frustration. Maybe there's just a desire for better teamwork and better coordination and communication among the different team members. Like everyone is on the same page and understands where we're coming from, and we can work better together. We're already doing okay, but we know we can get better. A third possible scenario that we've seen pretty frequently is the organization's growing. You're adding people, there's an increased demand for what you do, and that there's a real need for people to grow within their role so that the overall business can grow. And when that's going on, it's really important that there's a shared sense of, hey, we're in this together and we understand who we are and how we can get better. Talent Insights gives an in-depth look at the how and the why of each individual team member, as well as the overall culture. Now, when we talk about the how and the why, everyone has a certain way that we like to do things, a behavior style preference, if you will. I like things to be moving at a faster pace. She likes things to be very organized. They want to tackle problems in a very head-on, sort of just get it done sort of way. And so all these different behavior style preferences we capture under the heading of how we do things. The why is really the motivation behind it, the things that drive us. And we find that people are driven by the things that motivate them, and we often assume that that's the same for other people. It's not. And so understanding motivators, what's below the surface, what's behind our behavior style preferences is a very powerful insight. And Talent Insights allows us to really look at a detailed level into 20 factors, 8 behavior style preferences, the how, as well as 12 motivational drivers, the why. Now, these are not just 2 different parts of a person. They're in fact 2 different levels of the personality. And so it's really important to get that view. You can learn more about that in some of the other videos on our channel about the different levels of personality. Talent Insights is available in 24 different languages, and it's backed by TTI a leader in the assessment field since 1984. So TTI is in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they produce assessments for people around the world in global situations. They've actually been a pioneer in doing ongoing research, strong validation of their assessment test, as well as up-to-date documentation and making those technical papers publicly available, which is not something a lot of assessment companies do. Yeah, this is actually measuring what they claim to measure. And so let me just add here that there are a number of Talent Insights assessments on the market that are offered by different companies. Some of them measure similar things to what I'm describing, some of them very different things. And so it's really important to make sure that the Talent Insights report you are using is backed by TTI technology. Let me share with you some of the details real quick. So the survey takes about 20 minutes to complete online. Once someone completes the online survey, the output is available in several different formats. One is the individual coaching report, which goes in depth on an individual person's behaviors and motivators and how they can best deploy their strengths and bring those to bear on their job. Besides the individual coaching report, we also have the Talent Insights engagement report, which is a really prominent theme in the workplace today, is how to have better engagement. And so we look at engagement, the how and the why of behavior and motivation on the individual as well as the team level. Which brings up another format. We also can do team reports where we put a whole team of people, their results summarized together into one report, and we can see through the charts, the tables, the language, how many people have certain traits or tendencies, how many other people have certain drivers, and where those fall out for the entire team so that you both understand the team's makeup as well as the team dynamics. Finally, we have the comparison report where we can put a couple of individuals side by side, maybe a boss with the employee that they're managing, a couple of peers who are needing to work better together, maybe cross-functional sort of collaboration and just do better work together. Maybe two people have been brought together in project work and they need to understand each other well, both their commonalities and their differences. And another example of a comparison report would be comparing a couple of candidates for a job and being able to see their strengths as well as maybe some of the gaps that they bring and what the organization would need to do in order to best put someone into a role that fits them. The language of the report is written in a very easy to understand, very workplace friendly format that is non-discriminatory. In fact, it gives strengths-based developmental feedback for people. So it's very positive. It's a non-judgmental type report. Those are all of the talent side reports. We can also do the survey and answer the questions in terms of a job, not a person, and do a really good job analysis so that we have an understanding of what the behavior and the motivational needs of the job are and what the job itself rewards and the way it wants to be done, if you want to personify the job. And so within the job report, we're able to make a good match for those comparison reports that I talked about before, whether it's for hiring. Another use case would be onboarding people, whether it's bringing them in from the outside or promoting them from within to a new position of responsibility. A lot of companies promote someone from an individual contributor to a frontline manager with very little onboarding or thought about the radical differences that are going to be needed for them to be successful as a manager. A final use case would be developing people within their role, taking their strengths where they are and going the next level, just leveling up. Each one of those are some of the use cases that we can do with Talent Insights. That's an overview of the Talent Insights report offered by TTI SI. We also can put this into a software that allows us to manage and plan for our talent. My Talent Planner actually does a good job offering software as a service for companies and organizations so that they can actually do a better job on their strategy and planning for talent and developing their talent in place. More details about that in the description, in the notes below. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, give us a like. Share your comments and any questions that you have. Did we answer the question that you brought as you were watching this video? And what other questions came up that we didn't address? Thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, do that, and we'll see you in the next video.